janky as hell, but
Sure you start
we
live.
got this, man. We can do this. We'll rub our couple brain cells together. We'll get this done.
Exactly.
LOL, y'all late. Getting called out already by Texas Piranha. So
Y'all like,
look at this. Look at this tech. We got his. Can you see his highlighted comment there, Derek?
yeah.
All right. All right. We are learning this together.
Now we just gotta figure out how to stream your computer, your PC.
Yeah. I tested that earlier. Let's see.
Now, how do I share this on my channel? Let's see. Okay. Now I just click on this. Share. Create a post. New show. There we go. Hey guys, sorry everybody, we're learning this live with you guys. So
All right. Well, we're definitely live, man. I see tons of comments. So I guess we'll get into it. Welcome to our new podcast. We're your hosts, Ryan Turner and
Mr. Derek Smith. Hey guys. Hey guys. Hey crew.
what's going on? So this is the Pulse. Derek and I will help run. Derek's the head mod, and then I'm one of the moderators for the arm wrestling subreddit where there's just nonstop talk, posts, interesting links being shared, and just we felt like we wanted to share that with all you guys, talk about it because it really is a community that's growing fast. We're up to 14,000 members on there, Derek. So
yeah, dude.
Yeah. So that's
like the second or third biggest like collection of arm wrestlers on the internet, right? It has to be up there.
Dude, it's definitely up there. And especially like it's not just members, it's super active. We're getting like so many posts a day.
Right.
I remember a few years back, like this may have been before you were even on, someone would make a post and that thing would stay at the top for like 3 days. And now it's just nonstop action. So it's a wicked cool place to hang out. And yeah, we're going to share that love here, go over some of the more interesting posts. And this is perfect because we'll be able to get like, a real high level arm wrestler who's done it, get that perspective. And then we'll also get your perspective. So this is, it's going to be perfect, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That was a good one, Ryan. All right, that was a good one.
Thank you. That was good. Yeah. I did my homework. All right.
We have guests on here, guys. So I don't know how often me and Ryan are talking about it, but I can make sure that we're going to have some of the best people in the world in here. The cool thing about this, you guys, the reason that I've been telling everybody this is going to be unique is that what we're doing is that we're not just bullshitting and having random conversations about the same stuff you've heard a million times, right? We're going to be going over the popular topics that the community is talking about because it's on Reddit and it's going to be the most upvoted, the most popular things right now. And we're going down for a week. We're going to try to read as much as we can, up to a week's worth of popular topics. But what we're going to do is you'll get our perspectives on the things that we're talking about, but also when we bring in guests, you'll be able to hear, for instance, Devin Larrett talk about, some guy will post, how do I build my first arm wrestling table? And you'll get to hear Devin's perspective on how to build an arm wrestling table, or Todd Hutchings, or Ian Terzi, or whoever we bring in. So it's not just us asking the same old questions you guys have heard 1,000 times. It's going to be us utilizing our brain power and their brain power to answer everybody else's questions and concerns in the community, which I think is a little bit unique because all the rest of them are just interviews, right? Which we've heard 1,000 times. Yeah. So I don't need to ask Devin about his upcoming match with Gennady because everybody's going to ask him about it, and that's always going to be talking about. So I'd like to utilize their brain power to help answer the community's problems or questions and stuff. Which is why I was thinking about the idea of calling it the Arm Wrestling Pulse. I don't know if you guys like that because like the pulse of the community, you know what I mean? Like what the community is talking about.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I think it's perfect because there's so many interesting questions. We have such a mix of people on the subreddit. We have newcomers, we have more experienced guys, and so we get a wide range. And getting real professional and new perspectives on that, I think will be super valuable. So let's see.
Also, guys, subscribe to Ryan's channel. We got to get monetized.
The plug.
You guys can see you can't do super chats right now. You guys, we have to get him a bunch of subscribers.
It's so close, dude. I think I'm at like 950 right now. But yeah, hey, any support is appreciated. Let's see if we can get the screen share situation here. Share.
Oh,
how's that looking?
Hey, there we go.
So I have the right tab. I have a very not safe for work tab, and I had to pick between the two. We got it.
Yeah.
All right, look at that.
So obviously, some of the stuff that's just like constantly spammed, we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about. We'll brush over those and stuff and react to what other stuff we see, and then stuff that's obviously we need to talk about a little bit more. We'll spend some more time on. But you'll see a lot of the so not super repetitive, because we hopefully are getting that off the Reddit if it's super repetitive, but a lot of similar topics like, was Levon cheating? Is Hermes the best ever? You're gonna see a lot of those right now.
Yeah, this is a exciting time to be on the subreddit after a big event. It is, man, I've never felt like more of an internet janitor than after these things. The amount of trash repost, but it's like at some point, man, you just gotta like roll with the punches, because it is overwhelming how much stuff gets posted.
Right, with the Derek size microphone. It's huge. You got a big ass microphone there, man, for sure.
I promise I'm not compensating. It's just a nice microphone, you know what? Speaking of, considering this is the first live I've done, at least on my channel, is everything sounding good, guys? Is the video clear? Get some feedback here.
To me, everything's good on my end.
Sounds good on your end? Good. Yeah, you're coming in clear to me. Looks like the screen is shared. Yeah, sorry that some of them are gray. That's stuff I've clicked, so that's just the way it is, I guess. All right. So right now we have this sorted by the most upvoted posts from the past week. And that's kind of the idea, right, Derek? We'll look at the last week's worth of posts and
yes, sir.
Go through them. All right. So much of this is like just ridiculous memes and stuff. Do you
Jerry, who trained pressing his entire life and is ready to just push Levon off the pad and scream foul over 6 rounds. Levon's living his best life. But I mean, like, I'm not saying it's not true, but odds are a match with the press versus Levon is just going to be a foul fest. I mean, that's what it was turning into when Hermes was getting into that position. Most likely it's going to be that anyway.
You know, that's actually a decent place to start. I would love to know your thoughts on the whole divide between WAF and Wall. Let's start with running fouls. I mean, we can start about the ref's grip versus the set grip and how much load there should be. But what are your thoughts on running fouls, Derek?
They're great. I mean, it's great in terms of viewership and wanting matches to end with pins and things like that and keep the match going and not keep stopping. So in terms of like, if we ever want to be on TV or high level pay-per-view, things like that, it's good for the viewers. I think WAF setups and stopping the match every 10 seconds, it can be frustrating with little elbow bobbles and things like that. It can be frustrating. But I think it is really hard to ref, because it's hard to determine like, what's position gained or advantage gained or not.
Right.
As a competitor, I hate it, man. Every time I want to stop the match, every time I'm in a bad position, I want to foul and get a restart. But at the same time, I understand the good parts and the bad parts about it. But it will show, like, endurance is going to become a factor more and more often, which hopefully encourages guys to not be 415 plus pounds if you're going to have to be able to breathe a little bit on that table because the match isn't stopping at any point. I mean, I think we could see some more creative matches if they can just duke it out no matter what. So I get a little torn, but I see both ends of it, really.
Okay. So do you not mind the fact that some leagues have it one way and other, like, would you change WAF and IFA for that matter if you could?
I'm just like, for me, I always see WAF as like the epitome of professional, like high-end arm wrestling, like to the T, the rules. There's no messing around. This is for a world championship, tested event, all these things. And so, like, I kind of like that it's super strict. Like, there's no, it's not, this is not for TV type thing. This is, I don't care how long this match takes. This one match could take a half hour for one pin, but we're going to get it done, like, no, because at least the reffing in there and the rules, there's no gray room. It's a black or white, foul or not foul. Everything's super strict. And so there's no really, I mean, of course there's always some kind of arguing, but way less, like, oh man, that guy got screwed over. Like,
well, you nailed it. They respect the refs there, and that is so key. And I think whether it's running fouls or, hard stop fouls, call it. Like, I don't like the subjective, like, did it help him enough for me to make the call? Did it not? You're just inviting so much subjectivity and so much controversy. I mean, we just saw it with King of the Table, right? It's like, should it have been a running foul when Levon got his elbow off, or was that position gained? I mean, technically it was position gained, right? He pulled Hermes further away from his shoulder. That's a better position for Levon, but it also ruined a pin. So we just need, I think any foul should be enforced, whether it's running or not. That's a whole other debate. But no, I don't hate the idea of WAF being strict. You know what you're getting into, and then maybe super matches allow running fouls for the entertainment's sake.
Gotcha.
Speaking of, it reminds me of this. I'm going to try to share a different tab here. Can you all see this now? This was brutal. This was Tim Bresnan versus Babayev back at a vendetta, and this went all 6 rounds, and they were bangers. I mean, real wars. Not a single pin happened. Every single round ended on fouls, and I just remember watching this and be like, I don't care what it is, something needs to change, because as you can see, this is an absolute war. This should go down as like a legendary round in arm wrestling. But spoiler alert, there you go. It ends in a foul. So,
well, Tim always dancing on the back of that pad. I mean, he just had that match with Austin Jaggers. Like he's always right there on the edge of that, and then he has so much determination. He puts people in weird spots where either they push, if they lose the wrist, they kind of have to push them off the back of the pad, or them off the front of the pad, or and it's always weird. Or if they do a ton of up pressure, Tim might elbow bobble. It's just really weird pressures with Tim. So he's the common denominator. It's all Tim Breslin's fault.
Yeah. I'll let him know that troublemaker. I actually saw him on Saturday. He came back up. A lot of people actually been asking where the heck he's been. And I can give you guys a little bit of an update there. So I helped Tim get his channel started. That's my voice in the background if y'all follow his channel. And things got crazy. I couldn't upload as much as I wanted to. And then he moved down to Tennessee. So that's where Tim is now. He lives in Tennessee. He was in Connecticut, but down in TN now, and he just comes up from time to time. His son Corey Bresnan's still here, so he bounces up here and there, but he's like, it is hectic right now. There's so much, because if you guys know Tim, he's like a farmer dude, so he's not just going down there and getting a condo. He has like multiple acres, and he has cows and a bunch of dogs and all kinds of animals, so he's under a lot of stress right now. But he said he'll be back. He said once things settle down, he'll be back in the swing of things, and you'll get more uploads and updates from him there. So that's the news on Tim. And I just realized this whole time the background has been a bunch of Dragon Ball Z characters. So
I'm a Dragon Ball Z fan. First off, let me nerd out for a second. So I get like Levon is Majin Buu, right? And then Hermes is supposed to be Vegeta.
That's what the hair.
And then Brzenk is Goku, obviously. But then Saplenkov is that Raditz, or is that supposed to be Brawly? I can't.
With the power level, that's Raditz with the green eye. Yeah,
it was Raditz, right? Why the man was Brawly? Who made this? First off, like, what are you guys doing? Raditz versus Goku? Like, what are we even talking about, dude?
I'll tell you who made it. It was Couch Apple. That's right. We can directly call out our members now on this.
Good.
Nobody's safe. All right, let's move on to the next thing. 4-2 Levon over Hermes. Hermes awarded the last 2 rounds because Levon couldn't continue. How do you feel about that, Derek? Do you think they made the right call? I mean, first of all, let's frame this. Some people are like, hey, Levon couldn't continue. He loses the match, period. Other people are saying that they made the right call, saying, okay, he still wins the match, but he has to forfeit the last 2 rounds. Or in order to forfeit the last 2 rounds, do you have to go up and have your elbow on the table? What do you think?
I mean, we were talking about this. I was on the Fix yesterday with Paul Lynn and all them, and we were talking about it. And it, like, do I believe that Levon needed oxygen and was dying? Of course. The dude's 415 pounds, and they had wars, like minute-long wars. I get it. That's super intensive, and I get it. You have to. Everybody has to be able to admit, though, the timing was odd, right? Yeah. The timing that he's down 2 fouls. And he didn't quit any time before that. The moment he's down 2 fouls, 1 foul away, and probably going to be in that fouling position again right away, and that's when he decides to back out, is questionable. Now, I want to believe that our Lord and Savior, our King of our sport, would not do such a thing, right? And I am on that tip where, no, Levon wouldn't do that to us. He just really couldn't do anymore. But we'll never really know. The only person that knows is him, right? And so the timing obviously was odd, but I do believe he was messed up and needed to finish. So now, in terms of him walking up, I mean, is it that big of a difference if he walks up and just gets pinned twice and just walks away or not? I mean, that's just semantics. For me, that's just a little nothing. Yeah. We've had people back out due to injury all the time, right? I mean, that's happened a million times. So, I mean, still 4-2 win. It's hard. It's hard to look past that he might not just wanted to not get pinned, because in the interviews right after, he did mention, like, but I didn't get pinned, like a few times. And I don't know if Hermes would have pinned him or if he would have just fouled out. It was looking more likely he would have fouled out.
Right.
Who knows? He's the one that said he'll never get pinned in his professional career. He still hasn't.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Yeah, it's dicey. I don't want to throw shade on him one way or the other. I mean, if he was trying to save face, like, did he really? Because now, there's 1,000 memes going around of him needing oxygen and all kinds of stuff. So, and now people are even saying, like, oh, he should have lost the match period. So I
Right.
want to say that he was actually, completely like redlining and needed help. But
Mm.
and, I mean, so did Vitaly, right? Like literally at the last King of the Table, Vitaly left on a stretcher. So it's not like there isn't precedent for someone, needing oxygen. I don't know what's going on with these King of the Table events, man. And people,
It's that running foul shit. I'm telling you. You guys want to see everybody
dangerous.
die? Just don't give them a chance to stop the match.
That's right. It's dangerous and irresponsible. All right. Next up, let's see. Let's see if we can find one that's meme-ish. I don't know if
This
you
is
saw
like
this. Where are there parallels here between the
one.
infamous?
John has his own wrist. First off, it's Michael Todd and Levon, right? So a
Yeah.
little different there. And John has his wrist. Hermes does not have his wrist. So it's not like John caught Michael and was like in control in that picture, and Hermes is not in control in that photo.
Yeah.
That's the biggest one that changed to me. They're both
Yeah.
amazing, and people have said Hermes mirrors like John, that he might be able to be the next Berzink, the next whatever, and he's amazing. But
Yeah.
I mean, those pictures. I was in the crowd in that John Berzink one. I'm somewhere in the crowd over there watching, and yeah, I don't know. It was a little different to me.
Yeah. Totally different, but again, it's a meme. It's not going to be rocket science. All right.
John looks like Santa Claus, man.
Dude, I think he rocks that pretty well though. Like,
oh no, he's crushing it. I just had never seen him with that much facial hair.
I know we've seen him with scruff, but nothing like that. That's next level. This picture is awesome. Saw it on Facebook. So yeah, this Josh Plays Ultimate sharing this. This is a throwback. Is this from? Oh, it actually is text. I never really noticed.
Yeah, WAF in Japan.
This is Japan.
Devin got third. Yeah, I think it was left-handed, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong. I think it was left-handed. But yeah, that was. I think there's a video. There's videos of Devin competing there. Obviously really early on into his career. But I think that was the first time he went against John Berzink, if I remember correctly.
He's told that story. It's definitely the first time I met him in Japan. When's the first time you ever gripped up with Devin? Because you guys are like pretty much boys. How did that come about?
Oh yeah, it's the bestie we were just talking about. No, Devin, I met Devin at my first arm wrestling event ever that I competed in. He had a super match with Travis Bajan there, and I was in the crowd, and they had some big show. And I didn't know who Devin was. He was already number one in the world, but the news I had been receiving was old, so I didn't know he was already number one when I was talking to him.
Right.
After he left, people were like, "That's the number one guy." I go, "What? It is?" But pretty soon after that, I started messaging him a lot. The first time he gripped up, I think he came out to UAL headquarters for something back when UAL was a thing.
Yep.
And so maybe I was a year and a half in. It was the first time he gripped up, but I had been bothering him in messages and stuff for a while before that. I mean, I started messaging him the moment I realized, oh, Devin's tall. I'm tall. I should learn from tall people. He's the best in the world. He answered my question. Oh my God. And so I was just messaging him 24/7.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's always answered all my shit. Like,
dude, I was about to say the same thing, man. Like when I first found this sport, like I was a fan first, and I before his match with Michael Todd, I messaged him like you got this, and he freaking responded, dude. Like he's really good about that. He will take time out of his day to talk to even a weirdo stranger messaging him on Instagram. So kudos, Devin. All right, next up here we have Matai Warengi wins against Final Form Bowen. Congrats to the beast. Did you? Yeah, I know you're caught up on this. Thoughts? What do we do with Matai Warengi here? What do we do with Bowen here?
First off, I just want to tell everybody the way I'm caught up is I asked Ryan how it went, and he said Bowen got destroyed. He shouldn't have been on the table. That's what Ryan told me. That's how he knows I'm caught up.
Okay. Oh my God.
No,
Lions need to stick together, Derek. Don't you dare try to pull us apart, man.
I ended up seeing the match. Someone posted it somewhere else, or no, Ryan posted it on his channel. So I watched the actual match. I was at work like when the match was going on, so I wasn't able to watch it anyway. But I mean, it's inevitable with Big Marty, with his frame and his size, eventually getting too big for Ryan. And Marty's been working at it hard and stuff like that. So I mean, that's inevitable. I know Ryan. I do think Ryan's probably stronger than he has been. He's obviously made all those gym improvements and things like that.
Yeah.
But you just can't underestimate how much stronger Big Marty's getting. And has been improving. So yeah, I don't take it as much as a slight towards Ryan as I do as how awesome it is, Big Marty, the work he's been putting in.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's fair, and you got to feel for Ryan here. 2 of his matches fell through, so You know, although I guess to be fair, he did choose Todd Hutchings as the first replacement, which I think would have been even worse for him than
Yeah,
this. But
I
yeah,
do.
it was entertaining. What's that?
I think Todd Hutchings and Chance probably both beat Mahdi. I think.
Yeah.
So it might have potentially been worse.
Yeah. You know what I was gonna say. You know, he didn't have a choice but to pick someone this hard, but you know, he picked harder people first. But that's the Bowen way. That has been his
He messaged me.
MO.
He
What's that?
wanted me to come out. He messaged me,
No, he
asked me to
didn't.
come out. Yeah.
To pull him.
But it's like 2 days notice, and I have to work and everything. I was like, "What?" I was like, "No, man, that's too short notice."
Oh, that is fascinating, dude. I mean, it's free trip to Australia. Have you been down under?
No, I've never been there.
No.
Never been there.
Yeah. Well, that would have been a match. Any Bowen posted on Instagram who thinks they can take the Intercontinental title, which is what they're calling it, from Matai Warengi. Any interest in that, Derek?
That would
If
be
that
fun.
was,
I want to pull Big Money for a while. I would love that. That'd be fun.
oh, there we go. We have an option. All right, sweet. I also suggested I train with Nick Stone here in the dungeon. He's another dude, one of the biggest sleepers in the country. I swear to God.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, I'm so afraid clicking these links, dude. There's so many freaking weirdos.
Oh, if you've done our moderating job, it should be fine. There shouldn't be anything controversial.
I know, but like whether it's appropriate for the stream or not, or whether it's a funny thing.
It's all appropriate for the stream. Come on, man. Loosen up your tie a little bit, bro. You're okay, man.
All right, we're doing good. We're doing.
If it
My
bleeds, we
reaction
can
to
kill it.
Levon State. If it bleeds, we can kill it.
And then, dude, there's an awesome song out there by Austrian Death Machine that says it's titled "If It Bleeds, We Can Kill It." I really want someone to make a video. Chat. Actually, Devin's forearms in the chat. DF. Austrian Death Machine is the band, I believe that's what they're called, and they have a song called "If It Bleeds, We Can Kill It." I need you to make a video of like right when Levon first got stopped, and then start blasting that part where it says "If it bleeds, we can kill it" over and over again. I want to see that video. Please send it to me. I know you can do it. You're the man.
Let's
and show that to me.
Do it. All right, we have a long text post here. See if there's anything that hasn't already been addressed. I think it's just talking about Levon's condition. We now know, thanks to Aussie arm wrestler, Levon is fine. He just needed some time, but yeah, he's feeling good. And said he's going to drop, I think, 15 kilos for his next match, which, thank you, Engin, got announced today, is going to be Artem Morozov, East versus West 8, July 22nd. What do you think about that?
Dude, yeah, I've known about that. I just couldn't say anything.
Did you? Oh, you got all this.
I talked to Engin a lot, and he told me a bunch of matches, but I was sworn to secrecy. So this one is going to be interesting, maybe, right? So from what I hear, this is why Morozov's been getting so big. He's known about the match for a while, right? And so they gave him, Engin told me that, Morozov was arm wrestling a lot, too much. He was having too many matches, so we gave him a break of a few East versus West, and now so that way he can gain weight and really get ready for Levon. Morozov, I mean, obviously I was doing my homework before my match with him, that very close war I had with Morozov. And but he hooks. Right-handed, he hooks. He'll top roll to get to the strap so he can hook, but everything ends up his main move is a hook. So he's very good at getting into his hook. You see his match against Rivaz, who's a hardcore top roller, and he still sank the hook relatively super efficiently. And so the question is and Levon's been top rolling mostly, but in the past, Levon has shown if you can get him into a deep hook, he can be susceptible to it. But back in the day, so I do wonder if Morozov can sink in a deep hook with Levon with that bicep right there. Jesus Christ! How does that work? Now everybody's looking right now like Levon's way stronger than Rivaz, though. But you also got to remember Morozov's been gaining a ton of weight. He'll be even stronger than this. He caught Dave Chafee on the bicep. He caught so many people there. That bicep is insane. So if he can sink it, it might be interesting. But it's all going to be about how strong his hand and wrist is. If he does have enough to get Levon into a hook, is the question, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't write him off that easily because there's not a lot of super heavyweights that hook that are proficient hooks right now, right-handed. It's most of them top roll, and so it's going to be interesting to see Morozov get in there with him. If he can.
So I'm going to see if I can switch the gears up here. So here is, can you see him with Chafee now?
Yeah.
Does that concern you at all that Chafee won the first two and Levon swept Chafee? Like he's holding on for dear life right here, and
you got to remember, Levon denied Chafee access to his move by keeping his wrist straight, not going to hook with him. Morozov went into the hook with Chafee. He went into Chafee's power and allowed Chafee to really show everything he has.
Right.
So it's a little bit of difference. Not saying Levon couldn't have done that, but he didn't do it. So we don't know.
Yeah.
Right. That's what we all want to see. We all want to see Chafee get into a strongest spot with Levon and see what happens then, or at least in the straps, and we couldn't get any of that. So
yeah, he couldn't even slip.
Yeah, so we don't really know what that would have looked like.
Yeah, fair. No, that's a pretty balanced take, and I feel like most people I think are brushing this off as just like, hey, let's feed some red meat to Levon. But I mean, I think you got a point. If Morozov gets where he wants to be, plus I think someone said he's over 140 kilos now. So yeah,
big boy. He was
big
boy when I saw him first time. Now he's a big boy.
Even bigger boy. Yeah.
It's just crazy that I'm more shredded than him. You know what I
mean? Hell yeah, man. All right, where are we at here? It's all okay. So we have Monster Michael Todd lays down for that $1,000 bounty. Did you guys caught up with all that?
Dude, Paul Talia is pissed. First off, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think this is what we talked about. One, I wasn't sure if Paul Talia, like some people are saying he's doing this like vindictively or angry, like trying to go at Michael Todd. That's why he put that $1,000 bounty, like F Michael Todd. I wasn't sure if he was just doing that or if he's just trying to like stir, Paul Talia likes to stir stuff up, get people talking, get things moving. And so I thought he was maybe just doing it because of that. I don't know if they have like personal beef between them. I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
But he says right here that he still sent the guy money, even though obviously Michael Todd laid down to him, that he's a man of his word. I'll send you the money. That's fine. He's like, but then he goes on a little tirade, basically, call him like a baby and all this stuff because he kind of gave the money away rather than fighting for it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to talk to Paul in private and Michael and see. Like, I don't know how much they hate each other or if they did before this or where it all came from. But it is interesting, because if Mike is gonna be doing all those tournaments, like it'll get more people to show up to the tournament, more people try and do things for $1,000, or it would have if they didn't give it away already. But I don't know.
Yeah, man, Paul is an interesting dude. Because he took a long time off. He got involved in all kinds of drama. We don't need to get into it. And then he comes back just swinging, right? Putting 10K on a match between Devin and Jerry. I can't even keep track. I think it was Devin and Jerry first. Then it was Devin and Michael Todd, and then putting a bounty on Michael Todd, which I don't think I've heard of in the arm wrestling community. So. Yeah, how much of it is just stirring the pot, or how much of it is like, hey, dude, I love arm wrestling. I want to see some crazy stuff happen. Someone's got to light the match here, and I'm going to be the guy to do it. So, I mean, in a sense, what's that?
A lot of people hate on Paul Talia, but you got to say he makes things happen, right? No matter what your opinions are of him as a person or whatever, he throws himself into something and he makes some stuff happen, and that is awesome in our sport, and especially when we're being stagnant,
right? So. Right. I haven't put 10K up of my own money for a super match yet, so who am I to blast him for that? Until the pulse takes off, and then I'll be able to put up that 10K. And
that's right.
Right. So all right, moving
on.
Everybody
subscribe to Ryan's channel. He is not monetized. We got to get him enough subscribers, please. If you guys subscribe to my channel, subscribe to his channel. I'm gonna be on here every week, guys. Well, 1 week will be on my channel, next week on his. We're gonna go back and forth. Right.
Yeah. So definitely. So let's see here. All right, that was fun.
Dude, Jake had so much fun out there. You could tell it was the time of his life out there commentating.
I love it, man. His energy is just unmatched, dude. I hope they invite him back every time, because you have Jake being wild, and then Coach Ray more technical, and you killed it last time too, and are going to kill it again, dude. How you feeling about that?
Shucks. No, you have your color commentators and then you have like your analytical guys, right? So generally it's the more analytical side would be like me, Coach Ray, Ryan Bowen, are the guys that are a little more quiet and just kind of talk about what's going on. And then your color commentators would be, your Jake, your Neil Pickup, your Travis Bajent, your Don Underwood. Those are the guys that have like the big, like all that stuff going on, and the catchphrases.
Yeah.
So I try to I had each time I commentated, though, I did it with Ryan and with Coach Ray, and I had a ton of fun. Yeah. But someone said it's kind of like listening to golf commentators, and I was like, it's kind of true. Like we weren't, we were more like, oh man, that was a really cool move. Like I'll roast our wrestlers every once in a while about what they're wearing or how they're acting. So I try to make it a little bit funny for the guys.
Yeah. Well, I enjoy golf, so I appreciated it. Maybe no one else did.
But I think it's me and Travis, and then they said, and Neil's there too, but they said something about we're going to kind of be trading off in the booth. Or I don't know if it's just me and Travis in the booth and Neil announcing, or if like Neil come in and I'll leave for a minute, or like how I think that we might be switching around a little bit.
Okay, yeah. This guy says his favorite comm team is Ryan and Derek/Ray.
Oh,
Thank
nice.
you so much, procrastinator. I really appreciate that vote of confidence. No, I assume he's talking about Bowen. Bowen is good on the mic, though. I'll give him that. He's also really good at it. Okay, what else we got here? They have some pregame hype, and yeah, this one actually I think surprised a lot of people. I mean, Hermes looks a little closer to the camera, so maybe winning the angle game, but dude, Levon didn't have that much more size, at least on the forearm, than Hermes. Am I crazy here?
No, and you got to remember, Hermes is quality muscle.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So that was good. What else we got? Oh yeah. So, ooh boy, Michael Todd tore his bicep.
I still haven't watched the video. I mean, I got it. He tore it. I don't like watching videos of injuries. It's not my favorite thing to do.
No.
But I mean, I'm imagining, was he like a King's move and it just tore? I wonder what the situation.
Yeah. So it wasn't that bad. If you care to watch it, if you didn't read the title, you may not have even really known it unless you have a good eye for this stuff, which I'm sure you do. But basically, Michael did his like offensive King's move hit. You know, he goes and what was on the winning side of the table, right? Maybe got it to, I don't know, 10, 11 o'clock. Actually, technically got the pin, so he did get all the way down. But he was very opened, and something went. You can just see it right at the base of his bicep, right at his elbow joint. You can see something kind of wiggle and shoot up, and then he kind of froze. And yeah, dude, freaking sucks, dude. And Bowen, he's been, joking, but like he got Chance, and then Chance gets injured. Then he gets Hutchings get injured, and then he was going to do a match with Michael Todd, and Michael Todd gets injured. Maybe you shouldn't take a match with him. Maybe you dodged a bullet there because it's not good, man, which it sucks because Michael Todd's, this is like his career, dude, his YouTube channel and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he heals well. It was a full tear, as he announced.
I don't have the update, but he pulled out of the tournament, and just from the looks of it, like he's got to take some time off.
No, I saw him pulling left hand in the tournament still with the hand in the brace and his left
hand.
What
a psycho, dude. Those people are so crazy.
I saw a video of him arm wrestling left-handed still.
Yeah, I guess he's committed to that winning 100 trophy thing, man, which you gotta respect it, I guess. All right, next up we got Risky Click here.
Just go for it, man.
I'm done losing. You will see a whole new version of me on the table. Oh shit, here we go again.
Oh wait, I can't see it on my screen. It just shows Reddit stuff.
Oh, it opened a new tab. I don't think I can get around. Okay, well, here it is.
Oh, okay.
It's a Michael Todd meme. Another version of Michael Todd. We've seen those.
GTA.
The real reason Dennis won against John. Did you catch it?
Wait.
Oh no,
this just back on me and you. I mean, I know we look good, but you got people want to see.
Well, I just want to remind you that this is the most handsome podcast out there. Hold on here. This is good. Ready? I'm not going to say anything. Let's see if you guys catch it.
To the table in a calm.
The reason, I'll play it again. The reason Dennis beat John.
And Dennis Saplenkov to the table in a calm.
I mean, I get it. Obviously, I get it. I mean, I get it 100%.
It's like a switch, dude. It's like a switch. You get it. You're doing it right now. Yeah.
Hey, by the way, quick shout out, the awswitch.com, my website where you can buy shirts, hats, and stickers, you guys. That's literally what it is. Remember, it's like a switch. Turn the hat backwards. That's why.
There you go. Check it out. The AW Switch, man. Support the man.
Discount code AW Derek. Whatever.
All right. Let's see here.
What's the next one? I just you went to the site. Oh
yeah, check it out.
I just showing it off there. All right.
Look at that Reddit tab. So yeah, you got the man right here. Oh, what a fierce look, dude.
Dude, I know I was mad.
Yeah, so check it out. theawswitch.com. That's sweet. We love entrepreneurship. All right.
Bridget's been chilling way too much. We got to put her to work, you guys. She's been lounging around. You know what I mean? She thinks she owns the place. She's just been sitting around. Get her to work.
Good stuff, man.
Shirts.
Good stuff. You got to pull your weight around here. There's
Dude,
this.
This was the most This moment, I love where they freeze frame this. Like, this is perfect. This is before he reacts.
Oh,
I think first off, I think that's his brother. If I'm not mistaken, he's been in other videos. I think that's his brother, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But it's just so funny because when we're watching the match, I'm like, when I'm seeing Levon huffing and puffing, I'm in my brain, I'm in it. I'm him. Like, I'm like, oh man, I feel how tired you are, big dog. Like, this sucks. And when he threw that fucking water in him, I was as mad as Levon. Like, I swear, I looked to my left, like, yo, are you serious, dude? Like, like I would have been so mad. I feel Levon in that moment. I'm like, are you serious right now?
Yeah,
what are you doing?
There are times where you need that kind of hype up. I'm not sure that was it. Hold on, we have the whole thing here. I mean, surely everyone's seen it, but I can't get enough. All right, here we go.
Yeah. King of the table 6.
But the guy's not even screaming at him.
Gets the win. But the 5.
It's so out of exactly.
It's
if he was like in his face, like wake up, Levon, and then throws the water, like all right, dude. But you can't be like, oh, here, buddy, have some water, cool off.
Dude, it's so random. It's so random, and that was
dying, dude. Absolutely dying. All right.
There's an old clip. I don't know if you can ever find it. Back in the day when Chris Chandler tried to do one of his backflips on stage, and he ate shit.
No,
slammed his head on the ground and everything like that. It was like a full on. I don't even know if it's clipped anywhere, because that used to be Chris Chandler's thing. Because he used to be a cheerleader through college.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was do flips on stuff, and there's one where he does a flip on stage and missed it, and slammed his head. And he used to do it at every tournament, and he missed one and slammed his head on the stage.
Oh shit, he's had a colorful career because he's I've been a bodybuilder too, right? Competitive.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think he might have been a strongman at some point too. But I'll never forget that one, because you see him, because he'd win his match, and he'd win his match. He'd always walk over to the side of the stage. You'd see him get ready, and we're like, here we go, and Chris Chandler would do his flip, and he.
There it is. Oh shit. Dude, I think he may have hit his foot on something. Like I see like a wire or something at the bottom there.
Oh man.
Oh, that's. I mean, to be fair, I can't.
I can't do that. Yeah. By the way, Chris, you're watching this. Bro, I'm nowhere near. I would fall. I wouldn't be able to get the flip part down. There's no way.
Yeah, Chris. If I could look that jacked and fail at a backflip, I'll take it. I'll take that.
I think even Chris would admit that it's funny to see a little bit. As long as
yeah. All right, where are we at here? From Devin's Instagram. Oh Lord.
You know what? Honestly, like, I won't sin that way. Every video, if you watch my channel, I always predict John to win. I don't care what the odds are. I don't care how far it's stacked against him. I will never bet against John ever.
Yeah.
I won't do it.
No, it's bad juju, man. It really is. But if you're about that money, yeah, I think that was a relatively safe bet. Kind of. I mean, John actually did get some legit stops, dude. Let's go back to arm wrestling for a second here. How did you feel about that match, broadly speaking?
I thought it showed us where that Dennis is legit. He's all the way back into it, right? Like, he's not old Dennis yet, but he's on the way. And it was also impressive because most people, including myself, I wanted John to win, but I had to acknowledge that Dennis was probably going to walk through John. Like everybody said, like they thought it was going to be like just not even close. And the fact that in John's power, because Dennis was going more in John's power in his hand going sideways, but in his power, John was able to stop him. And so that spoke volumes to me. That meant a lot, that because Dennis is the favorite to just go through John.
Yeah.
And Dennis has that little King's move. So I thought, and John's been having a little bit of trouble with like really posty top rollers right now. So I thought Dennis would try to take the easier route and just go way out there and lean back. But he actually tried to go into John's power, where John gets actually pronate. That's where he gets really crazy strong.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was surprised that, but and John held up. John held up better than I thought he might. And so credit to him for sure.
Yeah, there was like a second or two where like I kind of saw Dennis's wrist kick back a little bit, and like I was like, is there actually a chance here? Which was more than I was expecting. So I was thoroughly entertained. And how can you not be? I don't care if John gets flashed. Seeing those two just on the table is so iconic imagery of what arm wrestling is. So I was super happy. Kind of on a related note, this is more about Hermes and Levon. Solaroon thinks, well, he brought up the fact that we're seeing more and more flop presses. King move is becoming more prevalent. Curious on your thoughts, Derek. Is arm wrestling switching towards more endurance base, and we're going to see a lot more flopping, a lot more kings moving, or are hook and top roll still going to be king, and we're going to have relatively short matches, and it's still going to be primarily a strength sport with the occasional endurance freak?
Well, you got to remember, in general, top rolling is a more efficient use of your muscles for arm wrestling. It's just a more efficient style of arm wrestling in terms of energy putting out and how much they're putting out to try to contain you. So their top rolling is a smart way to go. So I guess in terms of natural evolution of the sport, I think you're going to see more outside options, if not kings moves and things like that. But also, you got to remember that most eyes are on the super heavyweights, right? And most super heavyweights top roll. Like we were talking about, it's just like Morozov, Corey West. There's only a few dedicated hook pullers like in super heavyweights. They almost all top roll. And in a top roll versus top roll, or top roll versus anybody, someone's wrist is getting taken if the top roller's winning. And in a death match like that doesn't leave a lot of options besides a flop press. So I don't know if a flop, and you got to think like Dave's been getting a flop press out of desperation. Ermey's got his flop press out of desperation. Like that's what's happening when they're losing their wrists, right?
Right.
So they're not going in there like Jerry, like committed to a flop press. But yeah, we're going to see more out of it because there's more top rollers at the top. So people are going to lose their wrists and they got to figure something out after that. Like it's just what it is. So I don't know if the whole sport's changing, but at the super heavyweight level with all those top rollers, you're going to see flop presses. Like it's just going to be part of the game because they're not going to concede and just lose, right? So
yeah,
do something.
Yeah, no, well, that's why we have you on here, man. Great answer. All right. Next up, we have Hermes and Levon's long text post. Just talking about the sportsmanship, which, yeah, we saw tons of that. Lots of respect going around, which you love to see. We haven't talked about, again, this is sort of by the most upvoted, so it's going to be a lot of the Levon and John. But real quick, Derek, any thoughts on the Saban match?
I mean,
don't bring up what I did to you.
What?
I said with the timing on Saturday.
Oh, yeah. Well, first off, Ryan.
Oh, we gotta go, guys. Thank you. So
I missed half that match because Ryan told me the wrong times to King of the Table. Yes, as a YouTube personality, should I know the times? Of course. But I was like, oh wait, Ryan told me that it was at noon. All right, cool. So it's like 11 a.m. and I'm just chilling, and people are like, oh, you're missing out. The match is already almost over. I'm like, oh my god, I had to go back and rewatch the first half of that super match, but I got it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But I leading into that match, I had Pablo. I was cheering for Pablo. I chose Pablo to win it. I did say though that Sabin had a more international credibility and his resume was probably better, so he probably would be the favorite normally. But I was going with Pablo as the underdog because Pablo's been doing amazing, and the match kind of fell right within that. I mean, Pablo looked amazing as he has been, and in his strength was at that level 100%. And Sabin ended up, finding a way out of it, using his experience and using all that credibility that everybody's been giving him, and came out with the win. So it was a war which was to be expected. They filled that gap, which we were worried there was going to be no wars. We were worried it was going to be that was the only war, and then 2 shutout matches after that. And so, they put on a good show. So I'm excited to see both those guys and their next matches, who they're going to go with. For sure.
Yeah. Saban's been out for a while, and is it right that he's the last person to get a pin on Levon?
Yeah, I was at that tournament. I was at WAF 2017. I was there, and he lost his shit, dude. He would not stop screaming. Like I was in the crowd, like, dude. After he walked off stage, he's still screaming while he's walking down the stairs and stuff, like just screaming and screaming. So
yeah. WAF could double as a screaming competition. People get so intense, but you love to see it
because of the history behind that. You know the history behind their match, right? Where a long time ago they faced up at WAF, and Sabin had been saying stuff, and then Levon. That's the one where he just side pressures him, and everybody starts laughing at Sabin.
Oof.
They go, even the refs start laughing at it.
Dude, that almost looked like schoolyard arm wrestling where you just kind of do the side. What
really happened for those of you in the crowd watching, and I don't understand what happened. Sabin false started, they called the false start, so he let up pressure, and then Levon did that to him when he let up the pressure. He didn't actually do that to Sabin's whole arm.
Right.
He let up the pressure for a second. So, but it looks like Sabin goes, and they're like, and so he stands up and he's like, wait, that's why he's mad. Like, wait, it was a false start, right?
Right. It's him conceding the round, not him getting.
It looks like Levon just throws his dude across the table.
Yeah. Do they have the actual?
Yeah, and then it's like, and then my revenge. It's my turn. Yeah. This is so awesome, dude. I was out here in Budapest. It's my favorite city I've ever traveled to. And this was like, everybody wanted to see. Here we go, Sabin against Levon. Here we go. After all the videos, Sabin's been saying stuff, and
look at him go, dude.
Dude, he was woo. He started
making that mask look like a monk. All right, good stuff, dude. Let's go back here.
Dude, the Pronation sensation in the chat going ham right now.
Nations, half of you guys remember the rules and don't actually know what the King's move is. I'll let you. Yikes, man! There's some drama in chat. All right, let's see what else we I have here.
Pronation sensation. What is a king's move? Give me the definition of a king's move, please, in the chat. I want to know. I want to know what it is. I want your definition of a king's move. I am.
While we wait for that, you had a chance to pull with Larry, and from what I heard you say,
We
he
can
feels
skip that.
great.
We can just skip it.
We can. Okay, let me just say one thing. Practice. It's practice. Oh my God. Like RVJ says, he doesn't leave until his arm's gone. You have no idea if someone worked out the day before. But if we can just talk on just Larry, he is getting better, is he not?
Larry's doing great, man. He really is. And I've been saying that for a long time. People thought I was not being serious or whatever. When I first went to Dubai and Armwrestling with Larry, like, he's strong, man. He has a ton of potential to do something great. His bicep is there. He has a ton of endurance, even though I know his Brandon Allen match was crazy, but that was like a king's move versus, so it's endurance, but it's a little different. But yeah, I mean, Larry felt great, and now he came out here legitimately in a slow pull. I don't know how to go in competition, but in a slow pull, Larry is stronger than me left-handed. Because before the video you guys saw, we did arm wrestle like 3 weeks before that, but with no cameras. And when I hadn't worked the night before till 5 a.m. and been lifting heavy all week. But anyway, we arm wrestled, and Larry was still beating me left-handed. Right-handed, it was a little different. But yeah, and then, when Larry hits you up, even if it's the day before practice, like, hey, I want to come to your practice, you say yes. And you go, no matter what shape you're in, you go arm wrestle Larry Wheels, because that's what you do. Right? So that's what we do. But those people that follow me know I'm prepping for my match with Austin Jaggers March 11th. I'll be out in Pennsylvania. So that's the priority. Having a good practice showing against Larry Wheels is not the priority right now.
Yeah.
So, whatever. But yeah, in no way am I trying to discredit Larry. He feels super strong. Super strong.
Yeah, for sure. Which is he back in LA now? Like, is that I heard rumor for good? Like, he lives there now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. And we didn't see him at King of the Table. He's that's still his thing, right?
Yeah, he's still running it. He just he wanted to take a break from having super matches himself on it for a little bit, but apparently he's gonna be getting back to maybe having a match here in the next couple of ones or so. And they mentioned at some point wanting to do one in the United States too.
Sweet. Love it, man. Doing a King of the Table in the United States.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Oh man, that'd be so awesome. Yeah. People are saying the same thing with East versus West. They should bounce back and forth so that the US fans have a chance to really see it live, and it's easier travel for the athletes. That'd be cool, but I mean, I'm sure a huge headache for Engen. But yeah, man, what an awesome time for arm wrestling. This is
exciting stuff.
Yeah. And let's see what we have next here. Well, any thoughts on Austin? You're doing it at Winter Blast, right? Which is coming up.
No, Austin's doing great. I mean, not in terms of thoughts on him, or my thoughts on my match with him.
Yeah, the match with him, I guess.
We're gonna see what's what. I needed to see. This is my first match since I went and got my ass kicked for the second time over East versus West. So I mean, I've done some tournaments since then, and those went well. But yeah, I don't know. This is my first super match since then. So this is me getting my feet wet. This is me giving an opportunity to someone that's up and coming and, lower ranked than me, which people said, Derek said he'll never pull down, which I never said. So this is, me getting back into it. And I think Austin was the perfect choice in terms of, the right guy at the right time that'll meet me at the right spot. And so I know he wanted a match. So we just decided to make it happen. Now, people might be able to clip that and make me look like an idiot if I get my ass beat somehow, but still just career-wise, Austin made sense to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how that goes. We're gonna do right and left-handed though, and he's ranked above me left-handed, so we'll see.
Right.
We'll see if I have anything for him lefty.
Yeah. No, I think that's good of you, and yeah, it makes sense. I mean, him and Tim had a close match, and how it went with you and Tim. So yeah, I'm excited. Are you gonna
how it went with me and Tim? How did it go with me and Tim?
Didn't Tim like whoop your ass and you cried?
How did it go with me and your boy, Ryan? How did it go with me and your boy?
I remember you crying and saying, "I'm done with arm wrestling."
You're watching the first two match. No, I'm talking about the second one we did. Not the first time where he beat me.
Oh, yeah.
No, not that one.
No, man, no. Tim came back and he was giving you kudos, man. He's like, that is not the same dude. But he does want a rematch eventually. He said you owe him one.
I got to go out there and beat him and his son.
Yeah,
right and left-handed.
Dude,
they both want it because Corey wants it left-handed and Tim wants it right-handed. So
yes, dude, that would be sick, man. I would love to do that, especially if it's in my backyard. All right, sweet. And here we have someone pointing out that Dennis is what does he have? A dwarfism giganteus. I don't know if that's the technical name or not, but have you ever gripped up with Dennis? Have you ever felt that hand?
We've taken a picture together. I've never gripped up with him on a table.
Yeah. And I think
He's surprisingly short. I mean, shorter than you'd think.
Yeah.
Shorter than you'd think for the pictures, the way he looks. But yeah, the hand is thick, not super long, but just really wide and thick. Right.
Would you rather go against someone with a thicker hand but not as long, or someone with like a long, I don't know, Devin Larrett-ish kind of hand? Like, what do you think is more important? Like big, thick, hard to hold on to, or long where you can get
It
more
depends
vertical?
on what my goal is with that person. Like if I'm trying to top roll, or if I'm trying to control them, or if I'm trying to run from them, type of thing. You know what I mean? Like Devin has this long, creepy, like Skeletor fingers that his hand's not very thick, but it's long and it wraps around. Because if your hand's thicker, then you can't wrap around as much either. It's so thick that you can't get your hand around the back of their hand. So like Devin's hand, he can get a good grip around the back of your hand because his hand's relatively compared to someone's hand that's super thick, like they just you can't hold on to them, right? You can't, but they also can't hold on to you too well. So I don't know. I guess the thicker hand, I guess. Yeah. But if I'm top rolling, I'd rather have the thicker hand. They don't have as much coverage.
Yeah.
But if I'm trying to control, then maybe a thinner hand, I guess.
Dude, you give the most nuanced answers, man. I love it. Sean has a question for you. He said, you have great size and are an amazing arm wrestler, Derek. That part was probably meant for me, but we'll ignore that. Do you have any coaches or mentors that help you grow on the table? Do you see any ways you can improve technique?
Currently, I mean, I've had so many coaches over the years. Like I said, I've been, bothering Devin my whole career, and everybody I can get a hold of. So people that have taught me in the past, Jamie Sheldon obviously showed me the ropes. First person to take me to practice. Out here consistently, someone that was always helping me whenever I talked to him was Scott Wynn. On a more of a local level. Now, there's obviously been little tidbits here and there from other people, and there's people that have chipped in, of course. But those are some of the big names that pop out to me. Now, in terms of internationally, I've gone to every seminar you can go to. I've been to like two or three Travis Maiden seminars. I've been to, what's his name that owns PAL? Mazarenko. I've been to a Mazarenko seminar. And I paid, I think I was Engin Terzi's first online paid athlete that for coaching. I paid him for a while.
Oh, nice.
And the biggest person, the person that opened my eyes the most would have been Engin Terzi, in terms of how he trains and just his train of thought towards training in the gym and on the table it clicked the most for me. Like the way he would word things and the way he looked at the sport was like made the most sense. So Engin, if I could promote anybody, I would promote Engin, but I haven't got coaching from like Giannis or some of the other guys that do it. So I don't know about them. But I would say Engin. Now, currently, no. Currently, if I have a question, this sounds cocky. I know a lot of the answers to a lot of the questions now. I've sought out a lot of information. But when I do come across a situation where I'm unsure, I will message Devin. I know who's going to give me what kind of answers and what kind of things I'm looking for. I know if I hit up Devin, he's going to tell me the priority is rising and rolling and cupping. I know he's going to tell me in terms of gym lifting, it's about, just doing that with small movements, 40 times a day. So I'll if I have a weird question, it depends on who I'll hit up, and depending on the question I have, type of thing. But yeah, no one's actively on my team coaching me. My guys help me with things I ask. If like, hey, I need you to use two hands, or I need you to attack my pronation with this belt while I'm doing this, all stuff like that. But yeah, not actively coaching me.
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to be in the room with we call him Engin on a wall. We would FaceTime with Engin, probably what you did too, and we'd put him on a pole right next to our table, and he would watch us pull. The dude is, I'm not even kidding, a genius in arm wrestling. It's like he was born just to analyze and understand arm wrestling, and he has a skill that isn't natural to a lot of people. He can explain it well to you in your terms that you'll understand, and yeah, highly recommend it. No matter what level you are. I mean, even Tiger Woods has a swing coach, so I don't know if Engin's still doing that. He's probably too busy now, to be honest. But if you get the opportunity, learn from Engin.
Wait, I want to pause this for a second. Ryan,
what's up?
The people in here, I know there's people from your channel in here, and I'm hope to God they know who you are. The guys from my channel might not. The guys that came over here, give a second, tell them who you train with, and I want to list some of your awesome accomplishments. You guys don't understand. Ryan's a really good arm wrestler. I'm not here as some bum. All right, let the guys know who you are. For those that don't.
Okay. Yeah. So I got started. I consider myself part of kind of the internet generation of arm wrestlers, because before the gym, I used to go on YouTube and watch like powerlifting and strongman videos just to get that motivation to go to the gym. And then in the sidebar, I see a video of two people gripping up on a table like they're going to arm wrestle, but there's a referee. And I'm like, what the hell is that? is this like a skit? I had no idea what this was. So I click it. It's Devin Larratt versus Jerry Caderet, and from WAL. And that's where Devin's holding on to Jerry, being like, is that all you got? I'm way too strong. And then I was like, holy crap, this is a sport. I need this in my life. And I just went down the rabbit hole, because frankly, I wanted to see Devin get his ass whooped because I thought he was a huge douchebag from that match. But then you get to know Devin, and he's a nice dude. So I started as a fan, and I just would watch the Arm Wars videos till my eyes bled. And eventually I'm like, I need to get into this. I'm thinking back, I was always a good arm wrestler. I couldn't really recall a time where I lost, but I was an arm wrestler. I had no idea what the hell I was doing, just side pressured, stupid stuff. So I look around a bit, and this is like 2018. So there is no arm bet. It's really actually tough to find a club. There were just some old Facebook groups, and I would just message people in there, hey, do you know anyone in this area? And they would refer me to someone else. And then I found Josh Grant in Boston, and he runs a practice there, an awesome practice. If you're anywhere near Boston, check it out. Arsenal of Arms on Instagram if you want to follow them there. And he ended up being a coach and mentor. He took me in off the streets, the little scrub that I was, and trained me up like no one else. The culture there is amazing, and I ended up going undefeated through the amateur circuit. So I won 4 tournaments in a row on the amateur, undefeated, went pro. And then my first tournament ever, I actually beat Schoolboy left-handed at the New Englands in 2019. So I had a crazy, honestly, it feels like I cheated being in the Northeast, because it's like I have Josh Grant, I have Norm Devio at that club. There's RVJ right next door. You have Jerry and Rehoboth Maths, like 45 minutes south. And then you have Tim Bresnan. It's like the Northeast is such a great place to learn. So I kind of rocked it off from the start under their tutelage, and then went pro, got my first pro tournament where I got the win on Schoolboy, which was like surreal to me because, he was a celebrity in my eyes. Fast forward a bit, winning some tournaments here and there, go to IFA Worlds that would have been 2021. And I got 3rd place right-handed. So that was huge, right? Standing on a podium, getting a medal there. So, and then this past year, I went to Massachusetts State Championships, won it right and left-handed, super heavyweights, undefeated again, which was another huge accomplishment because I remember being so stoked winning that tournament in the amateurs. And so now I'm winning it in the pros. But I still get my ass beat at some tournaments. So I would say I'm a ankle biter into that like legit pro level. I'm a threat to place at any big tournament, but I'm certainly not a shoo-in. And that's where I'm at, but still getting better. I'm training at the dungeon now with everyone there, an awesome crew, and being, 4 years into the sport, I'm still on the upward trend and all my lifts are going up. So it's an exciting time. And, that's kind of my backstory. And also in terms of how I ended up with Derek, he was cool. He was awesome. I love Reddit. I was a Redditor before finding arm wrestling and found that community, fell in love with it, wanted to help however I could. And Derek gave me that shot, and it's been awesome ever since. And now I'm doing a freaking podcast with Derek Smith.
Man, first off, you're the one that created Discord. There'd be no Discord one server if it weren't for you. You were the one
I helped you, yeah. But it was,
and then the Reddit thing, man. I don't know if I can give you any more permissions. Like, I don't know. I'm cool going 50-50 with you on everything.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I just want everybody to know that Ryan is legit arm wrestler. He's a badass. So by all means, you guys don't think he's just some guy hosting a show with me.
Yeah. So sweet. Yes, that's my background there. There was a question up here. Someone wanted to know. This is Jacqueline. She asked, does Tim have anyone to pull with in Tennessee? This is my girlfriend, by the way. So
I think it's your girlfriend. The stuff she's saying in the chat room, like how much she feeds you. I'm like, wait. It's like, all right.
No, I actually just have this random girl just follow me around and give me food. It's crazy, man. It's great for me, though. No, this is my girlfriend, Jacqueline, also a really strong arm wrestler. So she's asking if Tim has anyone to pull with Tennessee. He's talking about that. He's like, it's all divided down there, and he's trying to get all the clubs together. So if you're in Tennessee, get your stuff together. I don't care what drama there is between the clubs. Figure it out. So Tim has a good place to train. All right. How are we doing on time, Derek? I know we
are 59 minutes and 15 seconds. We wanted to keep it around an hour, guys, but how far did we make it? We got sidetracked a lot, Ryan. We got to streamline this. All right.
I know. We this is the Pulse
the
episode, the first one. So we got some fine tuning to do, but I don't know, chat. How do you guys think? I think it's going so far. Do you like this format with the Reddit and talking about posts and getting insight? How do you guys like it so far?
And you guys know next week when I have my hand on the throttle and I'm the one running it, you guys know how fast I go. Ryan better hang on for dear life because we're gonna fly through this thing, right?
Yeah. No, I definitely getting a little sidetracked here. This is my first time going live. Give me a break. Give me a break.
I got you.
Okay, so we got Procrastinator loves it. Sweet, man. So let's see if we can find one more post here to close on. And get on a horse. I don't know what the actually I think Engen shared this with a motivational message. Mirror of the person is his action. Talk that is not backed with the work doesn't really mean much.
True words.
True word.
Insightful.
Yep. Any threads you want to talk about, Derek, or anything you want to?
Anything that's not about pop culture, like anything that was like about the Redditor, like did my first tournament, or how do I work on my wrist, or something like that. Give me something that's not pop culture right now.
Yeah, the problem is when we sort it by the top posts, like that stuff
gets
upvoted. Not gonna beat a meme about Michael Todd,
Or shine a light to the guys on Reddit. I mean, just the guys making the regular posts too. I want to give them a little love.
Yeah. All right. So here we're sorting by. Well, let's go crazy.
Let's see. Top 5 of all time. That was a good list that they put up, by the way.
Top 5 all time: John Brzezinski, Denis Saplinkov, Devin Larratt, Levon Saganishvili, Andre Pushkar.
It's a solid list.
Is that in order?
I don't know if it's in order. If it was in order, I still don't have that big of a problem with it. It could be moved around a little bit, maybe.
Here's an interesting one. How to use the conjugate system for arm wrestling.
From Diamond Eyes, right? Is that Diamond Eyes?
That's right. Yeah. So he's got a great channel.
He's been putting out good stuff. Yeah.
You ever mess around with the conjugate system, Derek?
No. I mean, I've looked into it for a little bit. It's just finding ways to make it conducive to training and the way I train and stuff like that. I was seeing enough gains with just a progressive overload system that I didn't really feel like I needed to go conjugate. If I start plateauing, a lot of for a lot of programming and stuff, when you're trying to figure out how much weight to lift and how often what lifts to do, like a regular progressive overload, meaning just going a little bit heavier each time, is fine until you reach a moment where that's not working anymore. And then you can start looking at other things like the conjugate method, like just messing with your rest periods, your reps and sets, things like that, having new exercises that target the muscles. So I just think that people should start with a base of just progressive overload, and then kind of you start there and then kind of go where you need to go. Love to have them making solid gains with progressive overload. So.
Yeah. I mean, progressive overload, that's the fundamentals of any program. I think Todd Hutchings pretty strictly follows conjugate method, if I recall correctly. Yeah. So it works. And here's a good one right here, Derek. User August Marvel 96 asks, what is the benefit of being strong at bicep curls? He writes, we know the benefits of training the fundamentals, in parentheses, rising, cupping, pronation, back pressure, etc., end parentheses. But what is the carryover of being strong at bicep curls? Being partials or full range of motion? Because I see strong guys doing 80 kilograms on bicep curls. They focus on improving that exercise. What is the carryover to arm wrestling?
I mean, you want to get this one right? Or you want me to get it?
Yeah, sure. I'll get it. So the first thing I would say is bicep curls aren't just bicep. In fact, 50% of elbow flexion is done by the brachialis right up in here. You can kind of see it here. So biceps actually are largely involved with supination. You can see if I just turn my wrist, it flexes my bicep, right? So the biceps are also a supinator, not just a pure elbow flexor. So the brachialis is huge for back pressure in arm wrestling. When you're at the start, you want to bring the match close to you. The further away from your opponent you can get the match, the more advantage you have, and that's a lot of elbow flexion.
Is he talking about supinated bicep curls though, or hammer curl? Is he talking about supinated like strict bicep curls? Or is he talking about?
Yeah, did he specify?
Because normally I would think he would say hammer curls or just curls in general.
Yeah, well, even if you are supinated, you're still going to be training your brachialis. That actually doesn't shut off the brachialis. So you're going to be getting that no matter what, either way. But more specific to the bicep curl position, if you are a defensive hooker, so if you're going to shoot in and accept that you're going to lose the center of the table over here, and you just dive in and your only hope is to get a stop a couple inches above the pin pad. In fact, if you watch the match between Hermes and Levon, there was a lot of bicep going on there. Hermes was palm up. He's right above his pin pad, and that is a similar position to where you're going to be in a bicep curl. So while I don't think it's the most important strength, there are certainly times on the table where I'm in a losing spot, and I am glad that I trained bicep curls because I'm sitting tight in a very bicep curly position, fighting, biding my time, and so that's what I would say. But no, it shouldn't be the absolute priority. Hammer curls are probably, I mean, you want to think more offense than you do defense, generally speaking. But I don't think it's completely useless because you want that backup in case you have to use it. But what are your thoughts, Derek? How'd I do?
Oh, pretty good, man. I mean, yeah, it's like you said, it's a strict bicep curl. If we are talking about palm up stuff, it's going to isolate the bicep muscle a lot more than here, which your brachialis. Your brachialis plays a part in all elbow contraction, but obviously with the palm up, it's a little bit more. I would say in terms of when you're doing the bicep curls, a lot of people, you have two bicep heads, right? You have your long head and your short head. I always get mixed up. Short head is when your elbow's in front of you. Long head's when your elbow's behind you. I believe if that's correct. So train bicep curls in both if you're going to do for health of the bicep. Bicep attaches to the shoulder up here. So also rising your arm up and using your front delt will also be another way of isolating your bicep as you do the curls. But when I do my bicep curls, I have a bicep day, which is a completely palm up day. At no point does my thumb go towards the sky at any point. And so everything's overly supinated or flat. Because I'm training that's how I get my supination training in, and I get my bicep contraction at the same time. But I'll do alternate elbow in front, like on an arm wrestling table. But also think about this: most lifts we do in bicep curling is with our elbow in front of us, because the arm wrestling table, our elbow's in front of us. But when we're pinning somebody, the elbow can slide to the side of your body as you're pinning somebody in a hook. Now suddenly, I'm using that other bicep head is getting used on the arm wrestling table, right? So to train with your elbow back while you're doing different bicep curls and really isolate that other bicep head does have carryover to arm wrestling that a lot of people don't think about, because you're always thinking my elbow's in front of me. Why would I train with my elbow behind me? But there are times when you're pinning, you're turning sideways, that your arm can go behind you, right? So you don't tear your bicep off the bone. Might as well have it healthy all around. But yeah, is it the most important thing? No. You're starting in a hammer curl position. Best to be strong there. So if I had to prioritize one of the two, I would prioritize hammer curls. But yeah, I think biceps does have a big play. That's where I train my supination too. So,
well, there you have it. And we have another good one here. Let's see. There we go. How to train arm wrestling without hurting injury. So the too long didn't read of this is this guy trains a lot of squat and bench, and when he does arm wrestling stuff, he hurts. We've all been there. That toothache, disgusting, just throbbing pain that refuses to go away. And he asked, do you guys have any tips how I can combine arm wrestling training with all my other muscles? Whew. So I guess I would say partially arm wrestling's going to hurt if you want to progress as fast as possible. If you're really going as hard as you can at practice, you're going to be hurting. You're going to be sore. And there's one guy at my club, Mike Shaloub. I asked him the same question, actually, when I was newer. I was like, when does it stop hurting? When can I hold on to my steering wheel on the ride home and not want to cry? And he goes, I've been arm wrestling for 40 years, and I'll let you know. So yeah, one thing I do like, if I can give you actually some actionable advice here, is they make compression sleeves for your arm. Like you can think like those Under Armour compression sleeves. That's actually a freeze pack. So you put it in the freezer, and then when after arm wrestling practice, you put it on, and it's a whole ice pack that squeezes and compresses your arm. I did notice some benefit there. Derek, any secret tips you have for us?
So was he talking about training for powerlifting or just training in general?
I think he wants to arm wrestle but not hurt and prevent him from doing traditional powerlifting movements, right? Like if you're coming off arm wrestling practice the next day, even if you do a bench press, it hurts.
Yeah. The more beat up I am from practice, right? Which happens a little more rarely because of how big and strong I am right now. So when I do get beat up though, so say Devin Larratt comes to practice, right? And we have an absolute war and I'm dedicated to lifting like 2 days later. First off, I'm going to be going machines. I'm going to be going things where I don't need to stabilize as much. And the most machine thing I can do is what I'll be starting with for stabilization. And then the more you get towards a regular bench and then maybe towards like dumbbells, where you have to stabilize everything, that'll hurt the most, right? So I start It depends on how beat up I am. We'll see what kind of lifts I'm going to do in the gym. So I recommend starting with machines if you can. I know it sounds stupid, but stabilizing is what's going to hurt a lot in your elbows and your shoulders, right? Which are usually beat up from arm wrestling practice.
Yeah.
So you can start there. But in terms of benching, man, especially if you're relatively new, I would say anywhere within, depending on your age and how fast you're healing, what your diet's like, your sleep, your hydration, how fast you're healing as a person, will show how soon you should be getting in the gym. I have a teammate, Mega Mike, which someone just mentioned him in this chat. He loves benching after arm wrestling practice. He says he loves the way it feels on his elbows, and that's the first person I've ever heard say that. And he goes heavy, like he's talking like 400 plus pound benches like the day after practice. But most people try stay away from it. Have the sleeves. If I'm going heavy soon, I'm using the elbow sleeves for some kind of compression, just because it'll light my elbows up. But yeah, I mean, it's possible, man. Squats you should be fine for squats. And deadlift, I've never tried heavy deadlifts after arm wrestling in my life, so I don't know how that would affect things. But yeah, you just gotta take your time, go in there, and stay conscious of what's hurting and what's not. And honestly, guys, that's the biggest thing about arm wrestling is that you have to get to know your body and get to know how you heal and what your movements are what work for you and what they don't. I can tell halfway through a practice, and okay, Wednesday, that's when I can lift. Like I'll know exactly, like I know to the T exactly what's tired on me, how it's going to feel in the gym, what lifts will light it up, and what I'm going to need to do, how much I'm going to need to eat and sleep to really get to maximize healing and be ready, and how soon I'll be ready. You'll get to know your body to the T in terms of healing. And it comes with the territory, man. So you got to experiment a little bit.
Okay. Got a double whammy here. So we have user Handsome Be Wonderful 88. What a name. He wants to know the rest period before the tournament. He's asking for recommendations on the rest period / time off before a tournament. And then we also have a message in chat from Tip Altier saying, Derek, how long does it take you to recover after a huge match? So maybe you can kind of give us the full picture there.
I would say, so in terms of aftermath, so one's basically asking how long before, one's saying how long after. It depends on the match, man. It depends on the match and how much reward is. Like it depends on how, generally, if it's a big match or like a Tim Bresnan, high level match, then my CNS is going to be completely fried after that, right? I'm going to be giving it everything I have. So minimum, they say CNS can take up to 2 weeks to fully recover. Your mitochondria and all your energy levels can take up to 2 weeks. But yeah, it would depend on the match, man. How much damage is done to my arm will dictate how long I need to heal physically from a big super match. But I'll feel probably like crap for probably up to 3 to 4 days of just grogginess and spent after giving everything I have on the table. I can feel it up to 3 or 4 days, just on an energy standpoint, right? Not talking about muscle recovery. So, but yeah, then the one before, for me, this answer is different for everybody, man. You have to find your sweet spot with what you need for recovery and what makes you feel good the day of. I've experimented with a lot. For me, heavy gym work ends the week before. Table time is 2 weeks before. I don't touch a table up to 2 weeks before my match, so my elbows are completely healed. The week of, I will do maybe so say tournament's on Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, maybe some rubber bands. I'm not trying to tear anything down, but what I've learned for me over time is that I don't like feeling loose at a tournament. I don't like feeling like I haven't used my muscles in over a week at all, and I feel like I feel like a noodle. So I like to get a little bit of blood flow, but I'm not trying to tear anything down. Maybe a little pump, just some movement in my arm that week. But then probably 2 to 3 days before, I'm doing pretty much nothing leading into the tournament. But that's me, and I've heard everybody has way different answers. Some people like to arm wrestle a day, 2 days before. Like it gets wildly different. Ryan, what's yours?
Yeah, so I'm reminded of something Todd Hutchings said a while back, and he's like, if you're on a program and every Saturday you're hitting a PR, right? You set it up so that Saturday is your 1 rep day, and you're hitting a PR every Saturday. Why would you change that, right? If you're stronger every Saturday and you have a tournament coming up this Saturday, why would you suddenly stop doing the thing that was making you stronger and stronger? So I think there's some truth to that. I don't personally take a ton of time off. However, that strategy only really works if you're prioritizing weights over table time. The worst thing in the world is going into a tournament where you're already still hurting, and just on that first grip up, you're like, oh crap, because you may not know it, but when you're hurt, your body just naturally will not let you do what you want it to do if you weren't hurt, right? There's things going on. You're not going to be able to activate the muscles in the same way your body wants to preserve itself. It doesn't want to get injured. So when I show up to practice and I'm hurt, while I feel like I'm giving my max effort, I feel the results are half of what they would be if I had no pain. So I would say make that priority number one. Like you said, don't don't be in pain, right? Number one, on game day, do not be in pain, whatever that means for you. It's going to vary based on your age, based on your genetics, how long it takes you to recover. So unfortunately, there is no one size fits all answer there. You got to know yourself, and that's just going to come from experience. Unfortunately, no way around that. But all I can tell you is don't be in pain, whatever that takes. I typically don't get that kind of gross pain from the gym. So yeah, like you said, I'll still be moving. I'll still be doing active things, even like 4 or 5 days before the tournament. But I'll probably skip practice the week before. So like Winter Blast is coming up 2 weeks. I'm not going to arm wrestle this coming weekend. Or if I do, I'm going to treat it like it's just to get the blood flow moving, because I don't even want to risk, just having a kind of moment where I surge and then, I shouldn't have done that. I'm going to be hurting. And then come Winter Blast time, shoot, I shouldn't have done that. I may have got that pin if I wasn't hurting so much. So yeah, that's my advice. Similar. And then we have forearms and arm wrestling. Is wanting bigger forearms a good reason to want to start arm wrestling?
No, man. Like, there's so much more that comes to arm wrestling with the pain, and you can just get bigger forearms with just doing wrist curls at the gym, dude. I mean, if that's really your only goal, but so I would say no. There's other ways to do it.
Oh man, do you remember all the drama between Bowen and RVJ about whether or not he actually grew his wrist? So Bowen was saying it was I don't even know what weird obscure place I saw this back and forth, but Bowen was insisting that his wrist grew like a full inch, like it went from like the circumference of his wrist grew like an inch, and RVJ was saying like, no, that doesn't happen. Your bones aren't just going to grow from arm wrestling like that. What's your experience there, Derek? Kind of off topic, but have your bones and hands just gotten bigger from arm wrestling, or is it all muscle?
I remember. That's the thing that's hard to tell. So my hands have probably gotten thicker, and I've probably developed tendons and muscles in my wrist. So I don't know the bones, how much thicker they've gotten. But I remember when I first started, I could cover my thumb could cover my middle finger nail, like all the way up to the top of the nail on my wrist, and with both hands. So now when I do it with my right, it doesn't touch anymore. So I remember I used to be able to do it all the time. I could cover my middle knuckle.
Yep.
So that's as far as I get now. So I've lost like an inch and a half to 2 inches, but I've also gotten thicker wrists and thicker hands. I mean, just in muscles and tendons. So I'm not sure.
Let's see. There was I can't find the link to it, but it was posted on the subreddit. How do you feel about arm wrestling, a belt system in arm wrestling, where like martial arts, you start at white and then you progress? Have you seen that? There's a picture floating around of like how it would be, where like, okay, if you win your state tournament, you get, a orange belt or whatever. And then if you win or you place at nationals, you get this. And then if you win nationals, you get a stripe on it. And if you win a world tournament, you get a black belt. Is that feasible?
We would need one governing body to do it all, right?
Yeah.
We're never under all the same, banner. So I know a few people came up with that idea in different ways over time. I think I know Wes Bjornson made one of those and shared it. I think Pat Hunt saying he came up with one of them. I don't know, because somebody else said someone said belts and someone said like what else it was besides belts. There was like a different way. It was like stars or patches or
wristbands seem to make sense.
Yeah, wristbands, something like that. But yeah, I mean, you would need one governing body. Now, would it be cool to earn different rankings? Yeah. It's just, I just don't think it'll happen. But the idea of it could seem pretty cool, to have different belts. And as long as we found a way to make sure it was legit and you really deserve that or earn that, that'd be cool.
Yeah. All right. So we are way past an hour. Maybe we can end with this one here. People often get confused about high hook and what it actually is. Here's one of the better examples. What is a high hook to you, Derek? And is this one?
Yes. I mean, obviously, Devin is the creator of the Ottawa High Hookers. And before he was Mr. King's Move, he was Mr. High Hooker himself. Yeah. I believe that the high hook is the ultimate move. In terms of options and what it can segue into and where it can go. Controlling height. First off, I think a high hook is an outside move. Outside move is shoulder backwards, inside move is shoulder forward. If anything, in a high hook, it starts with post, with shoulder goes backwards, right? So I consider high hook an outside move, and it starts with hand control and height. So once you control height, then you can go anywhere you want from there. If I want, I can continue into a deep hook. I can continue to roll out. I can just go straight sideways. I could flop if I wanted to. I can kind of go anywhere I want because I'm controlling the top of the hand, the highest point.
So you're set up, you're doing high hand as high as you can, as though you were going to do like a posting top roll, just with lots of wrist flexion kind of.
Yeah, it's what I focus on for Tim, if I'm being honest, is posting and maintaining hand, and hopefully they fall underneath, and then it's sideways driven after that. It was usually but like I said, you could go anywhere, but for me, once I post and their hand separates, then it's driving hard sideways. But it's getting comfortable fighting with your riser engaged, and getting their hand working a little bit before you start going sideways. So in this position, you see Devin pulling back, has Saunders' hand holding on for dear life, trying to cup him in, but Devin has the hand control through the post, and then is able to kind of do what he wants after this.
And this is a question more so, I guess, for taller guys like us. When would you sacrifice riser in order to get your elbow closer, right? Because we have a bit of a geometry problem, right? If we want to be in the center, we can either dump our hands to match their hand, or we can slide our elbow back and lose out on some of that drag space. So, I mean, I'm sure obviously like most of these answers, it depends. But generally speaking, would you rather the higher hand or more elbow real estate to drag?
It depends.
Damn it. Damn it. Eric, come on.
I mean, it depends on the situation, right? If I know if it's someone that's hooking or trying to cup in, then obviously I'm going to try to bring my wrist up and get into their bottom two fingers. If I feel like I can post and control their hand, it kind of depends on what I'm focusing on for that match.
Yeah.
If say I'm doing a random tournament and I'm just having blind guys walk up, I don't know who they are, and I'm just trying to keep a consistent move across the board with anybody that grips up with me, like a real tournament. I know an outside option is the safest in terms of physical damage and in terms of speed of a match for a tournament. So I would prioritize getting up into their fingers and establishing hand control more than anything, if not rolling out completely. So because of that, I would not want to give them this divot or give them the chance to get into this divot. So I wouldn't prioritize as high knuckles. It'd probably be like a medium. Remember, you guys don't have to do completely low hand. You don't have to do completely high hand. You can do a nice little medium where it's just enough where you're kind of low, you're kind of high.
That's an important point.
Yeah, and so people get crazy, like low hand. They have to drop, like, dude, you don't have to do that. You can just kind of find a nice medium point, which is kind of what I would like to do, right? Not too low, but not too high. Because I don't want to give them that little divot in the bottom of my wrist where they can sink in a hook. So something like this, and my elbow height will reflect that, right? About where I'm at. So probably middle of the pad, something like that.
Fair. All right. Well, Tip Altier says, Ryan, are you going to be doing a weekly live show? It looks like you've been doing this a long time. Very good at this, young man. Well, thank you. I'm actually super nervous inside, so it's good. I'm glad I'm hiding it. Like I said, I was a fan first, so to be actually doing a live with Derek Smith, it feels weird to even say it. So thank you, Derek. This was wicked cool and a really fun idea he had to really spice up the arm wrestling subreddit and just honestly have fun. I had fun on here. Yeah. So to answer your first question, yes, we're going to be doing this, switching back and forth, Derek's channel, my channel, weekly. If you guys like it, which it seems like people are enjoying this. So yeah, we'll do this. I think
how many people do we have here? I can't see the amount of people anywhere.
Is it that eyeball at the top? I don't know. Is that 45? Does that sound right? Someone can tell me in the chat. But yeah, so yeah, we'll probably do it every other week, or switch it every other channel. Every Monday is the plan right now, unless there's a better time. But
3 PST. We're supposed to be about an hour because I know Uncle John and the Aussie Arm Wrestler are probably live right now, and we might be stepping on their toes. So they started at 4. But I don't want to start too early where we're like no one's awake, So I thought 3 would be a good time, 3 to 4.
Yep, that works. That works for me. So yeah, there you go. And yeah, if they're live now, we should probably hop. Check out them. They're wicked fun. So that's Maximum Bang Mondays.
And tell everybody you guys came from The Pulse, right? Say Derek and Ryan sent us from The Pulse, and they'll be like, The Pulse, what's that? And then you guys enlighten them that it's the new hot shit, right? Let them know it's the new hot shit, and we sent you guys over there. Also, guys, please subscribe to Ryan. Help me get monetized. Jesus, I have to say it again.
We're so close, dude. I haven't checked, but we're so close. Yeah, so awesome. And Derek, if you don't work in marketing, you should, because you get it, man.
I'm just passionate about this stuff, man. Just
good. It shows. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, every Monday we're going to be doing this. And again, we had to work out some of the kinks. It's going to be more focused on what we were doing at the end there, answering questions, getting insights from Derek, and whoever the guest we have on is. Maybe a meme here or there for the fun of it. But thanks for watching. Any closing words, Derek?
No, man, I'm super happy to be here. Super excited about this progressing forward. I always have to give a shout out to some of my sponsors, right? Which is natfitnation.com. Check out the awswitch.com. filthypowerindustries.com, lionstraps.com. I got discount codes on all of it. For AW Derek is a discount code and all that stuff. Yeah, I always shout them out. They've always supported me, so I always support them. But besides that, man, I'm really excited about doing this. I think you guys, Ryan has great content. He's a super smart dude, super articulate, knows what he's doing, trains with some of the best guys in the world. And so I really think this is going to be an awesome show. And I think we have a really unique approach to cool little discussions and interviews. And we'll start getting guests. I don't know. We got to talk about how often we want to have a guest. Maybe every 2 or 3 episodes, maybe get a guest in here or something like that.
Yeah.
Or we just do it sporadically. I don't know. One of the two.
Either way,
But,
we'll have fun.
hey, we'll host a poll. I'm going to host a poll on my channel, right?
Perfect.
Because Ryan got the first video. So I'm going to host a poll on my channel, and I'll ask how often you guys think we should have a guest on the channel. Right?
Sounds fair to me.
And we'll see what comes out.
All right. Take care, everyone. We will see you in the next one. Go check out Maximum Bang Monday. Later, guys.